and I give the floor to the representative of Germany.
Thank you, Mr. President, for convening this meeting on Resolution 2231. Like other delegations, I would like to thank Under-Secretary General Rosemary DiCarlo for the SG report and for her valuable briefing today. In September this year, this Council sent an important signal, a signal that Iran is held accountable for its continued severe non-compliance with the JCPOA. This underscored the unwavering resolve of the international community to uphold the integrity of the global nuclear non-proliferation architecture and to enforce the nuclear safeguards of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Mr. President, Germany and the E3 remain committed to pursuing a diplomatic solution in order to resolve the strong concerns about Iran's nuclear activities. And here I want to echo what my colleagues from France and the UK have said today in this meeting, and many others, by the way, and what my delegation has consistently said in many meetings in the Council on this matter, that our door remains open for dialogue. But in the meantime, we must focus on 3 points. First, the Security Council has to agree on a chair of the 1737 Sanctions Committee. The panel of experts must start working as soon as possible. The independent assessments are vital for transparency and effective monitoring of the reinstated restrictive measures which the Security Council has agreed upon. It is our conviction that the reinstated UN Security Council resolutions are not an end in themselves. They are tools, a tool to encourage constructive engagement and to create conditions for meaningful progress. For that matter, they need to be implemented comprehensively. Second, since the Council remains seized of the matter under UN Security Council Resolution 2231, we need to ensure that this threat to peace and security receives the necessary collective attention. The Council should therefore retain its established practice of semi-annual meetings. Third, we call on Iran to urgently resume full cooperation with the International Atomic Energy Agency. This is a legal requirement under the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty and Iran's Comprehensive Safeguards Agreement. We further call on Iran to re-engage in diplomacy in order to address the international community's concerns over its nuclear program. Because ultimately, and here I repeat what I said in the beginning, a comprehensive solution can only be established through dialogue. Mr. President, Germany, with its E3 partners, France and the United Kingdom, has been engaged in diplomacy with Iran over its nuclear program for more than 20 years. We will continue our diplomatic efforts to address all concerns associated with Iran's nuclear program, because it is and it remains in all of our interest that Iran does not obtain a nuclear weapon. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Germany for the statement, and I give the floor to the representative of the European Union.
Thank you for giving me the floor. I'm honored to address the Council today on behalf of the High Representative of the European Union for Foreign Affairs and Security Policy, Mrs. Kaja Kallas. I would like to thank Secretary General Antonio Guterres, USG DiCarlo, and the rest of the Secretariat for their work related to the implementation of Resolution 2231, as well as Slovenia for their efforts in carrying out the role of the facilitator of Resolution 2231. We take note of the 20th report of the Secretary General on the implementation of Resolution 2231. Mr. President, this session takes place in the context of the reinstatement by this Council of its resolutions in force prior to the JCPOA, and thus of all nuclear-related UN sanctions and restrictions on Iran. This followed the invoking of the snapback mechanism by France, Germany, and the UK, who notified the Security Council on the 28th of August of Iran's significant non-compliance with its commitments under the JCPOA. There should be no doubts on the validity of this process and on the obligation for all UN member states to fully implement the reinstated resolutions. However, the snapback of sanctions and nuclear restrictions must not be the end of diplomacy, quite the opposite. The European Union and its member states are convinced that a lasting solution to the Iranian nuclear issue can only be achieved through diplomacy. To this end, the European Union remains determined to continue to engage with all parties to find a negotiated and sustainable solution to the issue, in line with the reinstated Security Council resolutions. Mr. President,